Imagine this for a moment. A man who lived over 2,000 years ago. They say he raised the dead, he healed the blind, turned water into wine, and even nature itself obeyed his commands. But here's the real question. Did these miracles actually happen? Or are they just legends, shaped by centuries of belief? What if I told you that the miracles of Jesus aren't just mentioned in the Bible, but also in other historical sources, and even more interesting, in ways that most churches rarely discuss? Stick with me until the end, because the final fact might completely change how you see this entire story. Was Jesus the only miracle worker in history? Not at all. History is filled with people who claim divine power, prophets, mystics, magicians. But Jesus stands apart. Why? Because the accounts of his miracles don't just come from his followers. They also come from his enemies and from neutral historians. And the detail matters more than you might think. So, what do sources outside the Bible actually say? Let's start with Tacitus, one of Rome's greatest historians. He clearly records that Jesus was executed under Pontius Pilate. But what is often overlooked is that Tacitus also describes Jesus as the source of a mischievous superstition that caused serious unrest. To Rome, Jesus wasn't just a teacher. He was someone with extraordinary influence. And for an empire, influence like that is dangerous. Now, let's look at the Jewish sources. This is where it gets even more fascinating. The Talmud, a central text of rabbinic Judaism, certainly does not accept Jesus as the Messiah, but it also doesn't deny his actions. Instead, it claims that Jesus performed his unusual acts through sorcery. Now, think about that for a second. The accusation isn't, he did nothing. The accusation is, he did something, but we don't accept its source. That subtle difference speaks volumes. It makes you ask, if the miracles were just fake stories, why all the fear? If Jesus performed no miracles, why was he executed? Why did both the powerful Roman and Jewish authorities see him as such a profound threat? And why did thousands of people abandon their entire lives to follow him? History shows us something crucial. Jesus wasn't dangerous just because of his words. He was dangerous because of his impact. Many people say turning water into wine was his greatest miracle. Others point to raising Lazarus from the dead. But some historians suggest a miracle that was far more unsettling to the powers that be. Jesus gave people hope instead of fear. And a person who is not afraid cannot be controlled. A person without fear will not remain silent. A person without fear begins to think freely. And that is the single greatest threat to any empire. Now we arrive at the most critical point of all, the resurrection. This event isn't just supported by the Bible. The sheer willingness of Jesus' followers to die for this belief gives it extraordinary historical weight. People might lie for money. They might stay silent out of fear. But people very rarely choose a brutal death for something they know is a complete fabrication. So, the question that echoes through history is this: did they all give their lives for a lie? Here's a detail that churches rarely emphasize. In the earliest centuries of Christianity, not all the writings about Jesus were freely circulated. Some texts were selected for the Bible, while others were pushed aside, deemed apocryphal. Why? Because some of these other texts portrayed a Jesus who was perhaps more human, more mysterious, and ultimately harder to control. A mystery, like hope, is dangerous to established power. So who was Jesus, really? A magician, a prophet, the Son of God, or perhaps the most carefully concealed truth in all of history? That decision, ultimately, is yours. But now you know one thing for certain. The miracles of Jesus are not just a matter of faith. They left undeniable fingerprints on history itself. If this video left you with more questions than answers, that's a good thing. Because truth doesn't always come to comfort us. Sometimes, it comes to challenge us. If you want more videos that explore hidden history, suppressed texts, and forgotten truths, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. Because the next topic we're going to uncover is one that some people would much rather keep buried. Thanks for watching.